Well, hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. This is Chrystal Lynn, Chrystal Lynn Astrology, and I am really looking forward to diving into 2020 and seeing what's going on with all of the signs, what's happening up in the sky, and how does that influence us down here on Earth. So, if you have never looked at your birth chart, you can click on the link below or email me at the link below, and I will help you pull up your birth chart to kind of see what was going on the time that you were born, the day, the time, your fingerprint in the sky, and how that affects you today. What's happening? What are the planetary lineups happening in the sky? And how is that influencing different cycles in your life? You know, astrology is a beautiful tool for us to really connect with the universe, that we're not just down here floating, out in the sea, so to speak, but that we do have a very intricate connection. This video right now is going to be all about what 2020 looks like at a glance. Now, if you are interested in your specific sign, I'm going to be going into detail on each sign: health, career, relationships, all of those things going on for each sign. And you will be able to get that at my website, along with a free gift of a natal chart report. So what is going on up in the sky? Well, right now we are at the tail end of 2019. And I think that we could all say that over the last 7 years, we always need to look back just a little bit. We've been in this huge radical change. Now, we've all had to look at deep things. Many of us have lost deep relationships, family. We've had to deal with separation. We've also had to deal with careers. Something that we built our whole life, and it seems like it comes, shattering down. And when this happens, we often feel very lost. And so the last few years has been about really engaging us, awakening us, having us actually be able to consider being able to do what we love. The internet, as crazy as it is, sometimes it's a big rodeo out here, but ultimately it provides the same thing for all of us, and that's an opportunity. Now, it takes a lot to be able to really live out your dream and really stand for yourself and really be confident with yourself and to really learn, what do I have to offer? What is my niche? Everybody, I believe, has that gift, has that speciality that they can contribute and serve others. And that's what this is really about. We're coming out of a stage in our life that everything was about building manually, building with our hands. Having a big house was important. Having 2 cars was important. Having the white picket fence, right? Having this dream. And for many of us, that dream, that ideal, really had a lot of holes in it. Not only that, the astrological current and events, and what we also call evolutionary astrology, is bringing us all to a much more spiritual place in our life. A time when we can actually connect to our heart. We can actually look at ourselves and slow down and actually begin to take care of ourselves, take care of those really important things around us, including the relationships, our families. It's a whole new mindset. And for many of us, it's been difficult to go from this high adrenaline life and financial issues and all the burdens of really this dimension that keeps us a slave, let's face it, to the physical world. And as we're moving into this future, our life is now being led by much more of a spiritual awakening and revolution. The amazing thing about what is happening now is we are all being called to such a higher place in our lives. Knowledge that we've never seen before, vibrations that allow us to really heal ourselves, to be able to see into the future, to be able to connect on such a high vibration, to have relationships that although we may not touch each other or see each other, we have the same power, that remote ability to connect. This has been building for a long time. So what I'm talking about right now isn't necessarily anything new, but we're continuing to go deeper and higher, high and low, into this whole next era. Now, right now, as we speak, as we move into 2020, there is a radical lineup, what we call a stellium, which is 4 planets or more lining up in one sign. And this lineup has been building for many, many years. So what we're looking at, really about January 12th is when it kind of hits on an exact calculation, okay? The exact degrees is when you have this powerhouse happening. We have Saturn in Capricorn. We have Jupiter in Capricorn. We have Pluto in Capricorn. And so we're moving into this powerful place. Now, when we look at Capricorn, it really represents the 10th house. It represents Saturn. I think we're always in a stage of growing and learning and being educated. So it's almost felt like, we've had this carrot in front of us the last, 7 to 10 years, right? With these big shifts happening. And this, this carrot, it almost allows us to take a little tiny bite of it every so often, that we can get the taste of what's coming. And then all of a sudden, we fall back, or the carrot gets further ahead, and we feel like, are we ever going to get there? We start feeling discouraged. We start feeling depressed. We start feeling a sense of loss, because we don't always understand how the timing works. If we could really trust and get in the timing with the universe, we could really see our lives unfolding over a period of time. And that's why this 2020 video calendar at a glance, I hope it's going to help all of us just begin to see the possibilities going into 2020. Now, first of all, I want to say, at the tail end of December 2019, Mars is in Scorpio. I really like to follow Mars throughout the year, because that 8-week cycle is like steroids from heaven. It's this jolt into our lives. And each sign gives us a different outlook, a different part of our being and our bodies to work on. And so with Mars in Scorpio through November, December, things have been kind of heavy. We've been looking at psychological things. We've been looking at traumas. We've been dealing with some family stuff. The holidays always tend to have a little bit of anxiety that seems to, holiday anxiety. Well, when Mars is in Scorpio, there's a lot, because we're remembering things that maybe hurt us. We're remembering our childhood. We're remembering our past. And when this happens, sometimes we get stuck down in here. And that is not the intention of the universe. The intention of the universe is to help us go back and reconnect with that person of strength. Sometimes it's reconnecting with that child in you, that child that really, before you felt the burdens of the world, before you took on the heaviness of your life, the heaviness of your family, all of those things that we start to deal with that become reality. That's hard on the child's mind. Now, when this begins to happen, we can lose our hope. We can lose those things in our life. We can get stuck in those places. Sometimes We may be 30 or 40 years old, but we're stuck as that 14-year-old girl where that trauma happened, that we never really knew how to grow past this. So this period of time, and there's a lot of things happening, so I'm going to throw some things out. I'll also put some titles below. But along with this Capricorn stellium, which is trying to really give us stability, to help us build from the ground up. You know, Capricorns are really good at thinking of the future. They're good at thinking about retirement. They're good at thinking about, you know, being able to call the county and find out how to, you know, pour the foundation. You know, a lot of us don't like to pour the foundations and build the first, you know, sticks going up or build the first frame. A lot of us aren't interested in that part. We want to decorate. We want to get the paint out. We want to buy the furniture. We can't wait for that stage. But to really be able to build this foundation and enjoy those comforts of life, however they play out for us. So right out the gate, we're going to have this solid foundation to get our feet on right now. And we're going to have to face the real deal stuff. We're going to have to try to feel reality. What is reality? You know, it's interesting because I was listening to something and, you know, there's a lot of different, you know, tools and jargons to kind of help us in our daily life. And one of the things I heard recently was, you know, practice the pause. To pause a minute. And in that pause, to really find the safety of the reality you're actually in. And, you know, that really hit me because so often it's easy to be out here, always feeling out here. And to be right here in your home or right here in your safe place and like feel your hands, you know, pull your hair a little bit, take a hot bath and like connect with the things of this earth will help us kind of go, wait a minute, you know what, we are safe. And safety doesn't have to mean a big home. It doesn't have to mean a lot of people. Safety comes from right in here. We also have Uranus and Taurus the next 7 years, and it's another earth sign. So we've got this Capricorn energy, we've got Taurus, so we've got this earth forming together and helping us lay down a foundation that we can really live in, that we can physically live in, and yet spiritually grow. So Mars in Sagittarius starts to help us go, again, what do you specialize in? What do you dream of? You know, do you need to go back to school? Do you need higher education? Do you feel like you know it all? You know, are you ready? Maybe you do know as much as you need to know to take that step. To get excited about life and to really be able to look at lots of different ideas and not be so stuck. Capricorn can be a little more legalistic. So there is a sense of legalism, but at the same time, you know, Mars in Sagittarius is pushing us along going, keep going, keep moving, keep traveling, okay? And then we're going to hit Mars in Capricorn again, all right? And that will be during a time, early spring here, that hits again this stability, this focus. And then Mars will move into Aquarius. And now we have a chance to really put out the things we've been really working on. Like I said, that feeling of giving up, that feeling of feeling like it's never going to happen. Now there's a sense of, you know what, get right back up. You don't have time for this. You got to keep going. Don't think about it. Just do it. Do what you believe. And this spring, we have an opportunity for all of this energy to be moving out in the internet, moving through our tribes. Maybe the internet is really felt like it's just too big and you feel too lost in it. You don't really know if you can make connections. But guess what? Another great thing coming up, the North Node moving into Gemini in the midst of all of this is having us go back to our communities, to maybe finding groups that are right here, right with us. All the people that have been out here swimming in the internet are also looking for these small groups. it was really neat because on the full moon in Gemini last week, at the end here of 2019, I got invited to a full moon meditation. And I've been just doing stuff alone here on my property, doing my own meditations during the different transits, and I got invited. And you know what? I went, and it was the neatest group of people. I have felt really guarded, but suddenly I felt like I belonged. Like, oh my gosh, I might have found a tribe. Each person was there for their own spiritual growth. Nobody was really looking at each other. They were all looking at how they could give to each other. And I finally went, wow, this is right out my back door. This is right here in my community. That's this wave. That's this energy starting to come together as the North Node in Gemini begins to, light its fuel like a rocket going into 2020. So it's not all about having a dream that's so far out there. It might be right here in my kitchen. Right here in my kitchen is my community. It's part of my home and a way for me to reach out to you. So we don't want to put ourselves in a box that can only happen one way. We need to be really versatile. Okay? And that's where Mars will move into Pisces. That'll be this summer. And there's where suddenly we're breaking free spiritually. We're really psychic. We're really in tune. We're having these, dreams at night. Might be feeling a little lost or kind of out there, but this is magical time. This is the time to really connect with our spiritual side. Although we talk about being spiritual and we talk about love and light and we follow all of these things and we're inspired by all of these other people, there comes a point in time where you have to know and be your own temple. You have to be spiritually grounded within so that if things out here are happening that don't ring true to you, that don't really connect with you, that you question, that you have the power, the confidence to say, no, I'm not going down that path. It doesn't feel right for me. And you don't have to explain it to anybody. You don't have to get in a big debate or a big fight. You get to just move into that place. And you might reconnect with another tribe, and you might be moving around. And you might like a little bit of this and that. But ultimately, you need to have your own connection, because this Piscean energy also speaks of very cultic behavior and fanaticism. And so you can get caught up in following someone to the point where, you're putting your own discernment aside. And that is a big red flag. So I am super excited. That's just the tip of the iceberg of what I'm going to be talking about in my full video, going through each sign. I go into detail. Also, I want to let you guys know I'm doing one-on-one coaching, tutoring, so to speak. For those of you who want to learn astrology, I take you right where you are, the questions you have, and we go through charts that you want to look at. And this is a one-on-one type of class so that, you don't have to start at the beginning. If you're advanced, we can go into more advanced topics. If you're beginning, we can start right there. And this is a way for me to be able to really use my gifts and my experience to help you guys get to where you want to be. And for those of you who email me, I will send you a gift, a free natal chart that will help you really, again, get connected to who you are. All right, you guys. Well, thank you very much. Again, if you're interested in all 12 signs, head over to my website and you can find out how to get that. All right, let's get ready for 2020.